to everyone rooting for Africa. This is Roots and Roots Africa, your open door to the beauty, culture and journeys that define our continent. In this episode of Myth and Memory, we ask a simple but powerful question. What remains of a kingdom when its political power is gone but its symbols still stand? In Western Uganda, that question leads us to Mugaba Palace. Located in Kamukuzi Division, Mbarara City, the palace sits within the landscape of the former Kingdom of Nkore, known today as Ankole, a kingdom whose influence once shaped governance, land and social order across the region. Although the monarchy no longer holds political authority, its imprint has not disappeared. It has shifted into memory, identity and heritage sites like this one. Mugaba Palace is more than a preserved structure. It is a reconstructed archive of leadership, tradition and cultural continuity. Within its ground, the history of Nkore is not only remembered, it's organized, interpreted and held in place. The ceremonial palace was built in the early 20th century to house the last kings of Nkore. It is a special record of how kingship evolved in its final chapter before political transition in the 1960s. The palace tells of the pre-colonial kingship and the African architecture and the rich history of a society rooted in cattle keeping and cultivation. But the highlight is the drum house, a profound narrative of belief, divination and legitimacy, where traditional and modern drums all pay tribute to the sacred drums, Bagyendanwa. In Nkore tradition, these drums are not symbolic decorations. They were instruments of authority. A king's legitimacy was inseparable from them. Without the Bagyendanwa, the Omugabe could not be recognized as ruler. During installation, the drums were struck only once, a single act marking the beginning of a reign. The moment was not ceremonial alone. It signified the transfer of political and spiritual authority from one king to another. They named it Bagyendanwa to mean the heartbeat of Nkore, a reflection of how deeply they were tied to unity, continuity, and kinship itself. The last original Bagyendanwa drums on display at the palace are believed to have been crafted by Wamara, the last mythical leader of the Bacwezi, demigod rulers associated with the ancient Kitara Empire in the Great Lakes region. To understand Mugaba Palace today is to understand that Nkore has not disappeared, it has transformed. The Banyankore people remain one of Uganda's major cultural communities rooted across Western Uganda. While the kingdom no longer governs, its presence continues through language, clan systems, land relationships, and cultural practices. Identity here is not archived in the past, it is lived in the present. This is where the story becomes more than heritage. But what survives is not only stone drums and architecture, but the way people continue to understand who they are. The name Mugaba is associated with a king remembered for his generosity and service to his people. Today, the palace reflects that spirit by welcoming visitors from across Uganda and beyond to learn about the region's rich cultural heritage. In so, Mugaba Palace stands as something more complex than a monument. It's a threshold between governance and memory, between documented history and lived identity, between what once ruled and what still remains. This is Roots and Roots Africa, and this is Myth and Memory, exploring Africa through the places that still hold its history. Like, share, subscribe for more stories from across the continent.